Welcome to the Charlotte Chatter Podcast with your hosts, Carrie Cliff and Mitch Benish. Now here are your hosts, Carrie and Mitch.
Here we are, season 4, episode 8, and I think this is our 94th episode recorded. We're on the countdown to the big 100, and boy, do we have a special episode on our 100th, but a little more details to come. But today, we're going to South Dakota, and we are with Bryce Lindskov, and we're going to highlight a lot of Charlotte bull lots that are being offered April 29th in 2025 in Isabel, South Dakota. So thank you, Bryce, for being on with us. And is there going to be a snowstorm in South Dakota this weekend, or how's the weather?
We would actually take a snowstorm. We're plenty dry too, but it looks like good rain on Thursday coming and all next week. So I've been kind of hoping for that, but I think it's going to hit us and around us. Have been getting some moisture. So, but no, Saturday looks really good. Good. It's supposed to be 60, 65 and sunny. So good. We're excited for the good weather and hopefully have a few friends and customers show up. So,
yep. Well, from the pictures I've been seeing on the new sale facility. So let's talk about this as adventure dream, or how this all idea, how this new sale facility come about.
You know, it's kind of been a thought for years to maybe upgrade our facility, and we spent the first 8 years selling out of Faith Livestock Commission in Faith, South Dakota, the first 8 years of our career, or my dad's career, and then the last 35 years has been up at what we call the LT headquarters, the old LT headquarters, which would have been where Brent Thiel lives. And when we split the partnership 3 years ago, we kind of made a verbal agreement to keep the sale there for a few more years. And it was with the growth, we've kind of outgrown that facility, and you know, it's right in Brent's yard. So we felt like it was time to build a facility that would be here for the next generations. And we should have probably started a little sooner. So we're actually still pounding nails, and welders are still going tonight as we speak. But we're hoping to have everything done by Thursday night, and we're looking forward to showcasing the cattle in the new facility. And you know, we built that new facility for the comfort of our customers and their families, and the safety of the cattle and the safety for our employees. So it's a 20-year investment, but we're excited to have everybody take a look and find the flaws in it. So,
well, it's gonna be fun. So we are, my wife and I are gonna make the trip. So we are leaving Ellensburg, Washington, Thursday morning. We're gonna trek all the way through Montana and screw around through Montana because it happens to be our 26th wedding anniversary on Thursday. So it doesn't, for everybody's wedding anniversary, doesn't everybody go to a bull sale? You know, isn't this the romantic thing to do?
We'll help you celebrate. We'll have a cake there for you and a few drinks for you. So.
There you go. So we're going to come in on Friday, and look at the bulls, be there Friday afternoon. So why don't you tell everybody what you have going on Friday evening before that festival?
Yep. So, you know, one thing about that kind of separates us from most sales is that we're all about the hospitality. The cattle are, you know, a bonus, and the cattle are great, but we're all about the hospitality and taking care of our customers and their families. And we like people. We like to put on events. And to be honest with you, I guess I probably should have been more of an event planner than probably a rancher, but I've done that my whole life, and I just love it. And Friday night, we'll have a big fish, and we'll have a bunch of walleye and shrimp and some 70-day aged ribeyes that we've been aging. Wow. And we'll cut them fresh on Thursday afternoon. And so awesome. the food is as good as you'll find in the hospitality, and we'll have a good meal and entertainment that day or that evening, and people can come and look at bulls all day and have a few drinks and a good meal with us and tell a few stories, I guess. And
perfect. So when you say
bring the whole family.
Yeah. So my wife and I are coming, but when you say entertainment, are you a karaoke master? Are you going to be singing, or how deep in this entertainment are we getting?
You know, I'm probably going to have to behave a little bit, but normally I could probably get up there and sing a few songs, but I probably won't this time. So, okay. But we actually got a kind of a solo guy coming in with his guitar. He's pretty handy, and it'll just kind of be kind of a laid back music, and so people can still visit and have a good time. But the facility has a game room for the kids, pool table, foosball, shuffleboards.
Wow.
We got a soft serve ice cream machine. We got a full bar. Or happy hour starts at 4:30, dinner about 6:30, and all of our friends, neighbors, and customers are all invited to that too. And all I ask is that they show up on Saturday too, please.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be totally bellied up to that ice cream bar. I'm all over that.
Like a dairy kid.
As you guys have been around me before, right?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we ordered extra ice cream, so
good. Well, I had my doctor's appointment today, and I am a walking bill of health, and I had a full on great, what you call it, outlook on life now after going to the doctor, and they looked at my blood. I'm like, yes. So I'm full on. It's game on Saturday. So
awesome. Well, we're looking forward to having you here. So
it is proof that you can skew a test the last 2 weeks. So
there you go.
So anyway, we're going to highlight some bulls, but before we do that, I dug back in a little bit of archives, and I did mention this is our 94th episode. We're coming on our 100th, but on season 1, episode 12. So our 12th episode, we had a Chad Berger from Mandan, North Dakota on with us, who's a PBR stock contractor and cattle buyer. And he had a lot of quotes, but I went back in the old archives and dug out a quote that he talked about you and your family. So I'm going to play it right here. And you probably haven't heard it, but I'm going to play it. This is Chad Berger quote from 4 years ago, Mitch, probably, I guess.
Yep.
Them Lindskos, they've been around the cattle business a long time, and they're hell, they got farm stores, they do a lot of things right, and
right,
and they bring them Charlie cattle into Harriet, South Dakota, or Fort Pierre, or Mobridge. Lindskovs will be right there banging on them calves, and and that makes them consign them people buying their bulls. It makes them feel pretty good that they're buying some of their heifer calves back or whatever they're buying.
Yeah.
And
makes a difference.
It makes a difference if you're taking care of your customers, and I don't know anybody that does any better than them guys.
I think that's there's a quote from Chad Berger in our 12th season. So
Chad's
cool.
Chad's a good family friend, and he's a great guy too, and very successful, and that was very, very nice compliment from him. So
yeah. So we dug deep, but we found her.
That's awesome.
So let's we want to start up, Mitch, there, and let's talk about some of your bull highlights. And actually, we're gonna go. I don't know how many of them. There's about 15 of them. So this will be the actual sale order too that you just
it's
today.
Fairly close. Yep.
So let's start out with the lot 3 bull. So lot 3 is LT Maverick 4235, and he's a governor's son. So what's his claim to fame?
The Governor Sire Group is phenomenal this year, and we had a hard time picking which one to start the sale with. There's just a lot of good governors. 3, we go back to the female side, and his mother is a Affinity daughter, and the Affinities, just stand out in our cow herd and a lot of herds across the nation. And the Governor he's done a great job for us, and he's added a lot of extra performance that I believe the Charolais breed needs. We put a lot of cavities into the breed the last 10 to 15 years. Now we got to get some performance added back in here. So, Maverick is one of those bulls that's going to bring some extra muscle and shape, and he's got a solid foot structure, big scrotal. So longevity and fertility are 2 big keys in our herd, and I just think he's going to do it all, and he could be the next kind of stud in the Charolais breed. So we are going to go over a little bit of data here. So on March 20th, he was pushing 1,500 pounds then. So he'll be weighing up really good on sale day. Yes, and our feed protocol is different than a lot of operations across the nation, and it's easy to sell flesh. 2 months ago, if you looked at the bulls, they were maybe on the green side, but come sale day, they're going to look the part, and they're fed a high fiber ration. They never seen a corn silage or feed wagon. They get fed this pellet, and the pellets develop to grow them over time instead of put flesh on them early. And they get that in a free choice grass bale, and it just makes those bulls rock solid and good foot structure for years to come. And
doesn't burn them out.
They can breed a lot of cows and still, look good coming off the pasture. So excellent.
Well, that's going to be a good sales starter right there. That's LT Maverick. And again, he's a governor's son out of a great LT Infinity daughter. So let's go on to the next lot. Highlight would be lot number 1, and that is LT Captain, who's another governor's son.
Yep. So, like I said before, we had a hard choice picking between these 3. And for a while, we were going to put lot 1 in there. And I still think he's as good as lot 3, but we had to start somewhere. And he goes back to a Rushmore female that's rock solid. And, his grandmother is LT Anthony 1247, yep. Which she's the mother to Affinity. So, I mean, there's a strong cow family behind this one. And, and we feel kind of the same as lot 3, just both good mothers, just high performance bulls that'll get out there and add some pounds to these feeder cattle.
Well, these first 2 lots look quite a bit alike. You might as well just bring them in and have somebody sweep the ring, bring them together.
we sure could have done that with, quite a few of them. So probably the first 3 for sure, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that is lot number 1, LT Captain, and look at the female side on that one, and he's got a 111 weaning ratio, 808 adjusted weaning weight, and 279 TSI. So he's got all the numbers to go with the full package.
You bet.
Out of a great cow. So that is lot 1, LT Captain. So we'll go on to lot number 2, LT Monarch 4004.
So lot 2 is another governor. The mother to this lot 2 has actually been in our donor program for quite a few years. It's a long distance female that just has been spot on for the LT program for years, and we can't say enough good things about this female either. Just perfect uddered, level uddered, dark pigmented. When fertility and performance are key to success, these governor sons they'll get her done. So.
Yep. So that is lot 2. And I should mention that the first 3 lots are all PA free, which quite a few of them are here, and they are in your catalog stated. We should also state that if you can't be there live, to log on to CCI and DV auction. So there's 2 different live or broadcasted platforms to bid. So bidding's easy. So or call one of your good representatives. I'll be there. Heck, I can be there. I'll bid on them for whoever wants to give me a holler. So
there you go. There you go.
Mitch, you want to cover the next lot? Lot 122.
Lot 122. I got to turn the page. I got to turn a few pages here.
Yeah. How about it is, LT Regional, and I really like this bull. It just who he's out of, and there's a lot to talk about with the countdown, but out of Tank Daughter. So you're still flipping. Where's your speed flipper?
I know.
There you go.
There we go. Lot 122 looks like a LT Countdown son, and if I can read
the TSI on there, 315.
Holy cow! Big ratios, low birth weight. I don't see how you could go wrong with that. The LT Countdowns, it seemed like they're gaining some popularity. A few of them and some studs already. So, yeah.
Countdown. He's been a high semen seller for the last few years, and of course he's a seller to Historic. Dennis Hararenko's bull. Yep. That sold for pretty good money in Canada and been used pretty heavily in the U.S. too. But, this is a bull that's going to get out there and have some cavities and some maternals to him and plenty of performance. And this bull just hits on all angles, and he's in top 1% for ribeye area and TSI and top 2% from marbling, and
Right.
top 3% for another 4 or 5 traits, and all coupled with some Cavanese directs of 18.5 and a -5 birth weight, and he just keeps pouring it on. And we had a hard time kind of picking between 122 and 123, but 122 is probably the bull to go to on the front end of those countdowns. And we're getting a lot of traction on him and a lot of interest, and I think he'll be a bull used heavily in the breed for years to come.
Yeah, he's kind of got the and obviously Tank, his mother's sire, has proven himself to be a Cavanese high performance type bull. So
yes,
I think you're kind of stacking that on. So what do you see? I mean, obviously you got customers that want different size of calves in your area, and what are you seeing? Is it this guy? He weighed 76, so assumingly probably can throw some calves in that size range. But there's a lot of people that are in colder areas want them a little bigger or smaller. What I guess what are you kind of seeing in your customers?
On our commercial cow base here, most of these guys, they want some performance and they're not afraid of a little extra birth weight. But I got a lot of guys that are breeding, commercial black or red heifers, Charolais. So this will be a bull that'll be used heavily in our commercial bred heifer program and in a lot of commercial bred heifer programs across the country. But he can be used on cows and I think on the purebred side, I think there'll be a lot of breeders chasing them and wanting to use them on their heifers too. And
Right.
But overall, I mean, my guys on the Charolais side, they just moderate Cavanese, but some added performance and
Right.
some decent carcass anymore. And this bull puts it all together.
Yep. So that is lot 122. So Mitch, let's put your flipper on fast and go to lot 10. Is LT Governor 4556, a governor out of a Rushmore daughter.
Yep. So Rushmore, I guess everybody knows Rushmore, and he's done a pretty good job on the female side too. But he's one of those powerhouse bulls that has some strong EPDs, and he had an actual weaning weight of 900 pounds, and ratio at 116. So I mean, he's a performance bull, and
Wow.
he looks the part, and he could have just well been the lot one bull, or it could have been the first bull in the ring. But we had to start somewhere. But you'll like his dark pigmented scrotal and
very good. So what
he moves freely, and so he'll add some performance to anybody's calf crop. So
yeah, totally. So obviously out of a Rushmore daughter, but and probably people might be annoyed on. I commented on quite a bit, but Rio Bravo, you see him popping up in your pedigree quite a bit in the third. So, and he had a short life, correct, in his day.
Yeah, but Rio Bravo did a good job for the LT program, in a short period of time. But we still got quite a bit of it. Goes way back, 3 generations. But
right, yeah, those are good cattle, good producing cattle. So,
but he was out of a really strong female, So
yeah. Nope, that was lot number 10. So Mitch, let's go on to lot number 46. So it's LT Edge. So it's a Power Stroke son.
So I guess I'm not sure you want me to talk about the Power Strokes. That's quite a sire group. I'm telling you right now that unfortunately Power Stroke himself broke his leg the first breeding season. So the semen's very limited, and I could sell a lot more on him, but we're down to very few straws of him. So whoever can pick the best Power Stroke out of this sale Saturday could hit a home run, because when you look at this sire group, they just keep pouring it on. They were, more kind of Cavanese. A lot of these cattle were, this bull got 100-pound birth weight, but they're still Cavanese. I mean, I got guys who've used them on commercial heifers, and we just love our Power Stroke sire group, and from top to bottom, they're just a solid set of bulls that keep coming on and keep impressing us every day. And this particular bull, he goes back to the same mother as lot 1 and another ET. But anyhow, we're strong maternal. I guess if it's going into a registered operation, it's going to produce some females that you want to keep in your herd too. And I just think that it's a good time for somebody to pick one of these out, and it could be the next best bull to replace Power Stroke himself. So.
Right. Well, there's an opportunity there, and he is homozygous polled too, and
he is homozygous polled. Yep.
So, and he's in this picture here. For all the people out there listening, you got to look on how he poses in this picture. So I think Kate Roberts must have snapped a good one on that one.
They don't all have to pose the right direction, and we thought that was a pretty cool picture. So, it just he looks better than that today, and he, like I said, that SAR group just keeps pouring it on and impress us more and more every day. So
it looks like he has a little bit of hair, so you might need to get one of these clubby guys to get on him. So
there you go. Yep.
He might be right up their alley. So that is lot 46, LT Edge. So let's go on and highlight lot number 80, LT Stanley. I love the name Stanley. I mean, that reminds me of, was it Stanley Roper off of, what was it, Three's Company? But not the bull, but just the name. So
I got to tell you a little story behind the name. So I was asking the family members for names to name some of these bulls, and I get tired to come up with names. So my wife's grandpa and my kid's grandpa, I guess, his name was Stanley Asmunsen. So she named him Stanley. So my father-in-law thinks that's pretty cool. So maybe I can get him to invest in this bull. So
there you go. You should announce that on the podium. You know that.
Oh, I'm gonna make sure he's there and at least gets the first bid. So
that's awesome.
But he, lot 80 is a Ransom, and Ransom's another bull that had a short life span, and he only lasted about a year and a half, and it was it was bad luck, and he passed away right away too. But the Ransom Sire group's been great, and we're keeping a lot of females out of them. We just really like what he's done for us, and we keep going back to him. And that's another group that if a guy could find that great one, there's a lot of opportunity with the Ransoms moving forward. And Stanley is just that bull that he brings that natural thickness and some added dimension. Yes. He's got a great set of feet and legs, and he's got a marbling score of 0.32, which top 6% for the breed, and just top shelf female that has generations to back him. So
I was just going to mention that his marbling score is up on that upper end. So so that one, I could see his numbers changing down the line once calves are on the ground. So that's going to get better. So
you'll love the females, and there's still plenty of performance in carcass and muscle there that it'll do good for the commercial cow calf guy and the registered guy. So
okay, that is lot 80 Stanley. So look for Stanley. I just love the name. I think it's a fun one. So let's go on to bull highlight number 138, which is, I gotta get there, LT Blaze, the son of Estrada. So a different sire group here.
This is another sire group that was hard to pick the tops. And there's 4 or 5 bulls in this Estrada group that we lost sleep over trying to figure out which one to start it with. And Estrada is a bull that we bought the U.S. semen rights a few years ago from Highway 21 feeders in Canada. And our partner on the U.S. semen rights is Summerford's out of Alabama. And there's just been a lot of good calves between both programs on the ground here, and we like what we see, and I think the customers will like him when we see him too. They can go and he'll fit in good commercial programs or any registered operation that's looking for a little outcross, and this is your chance to maybe put some outcross back in the breed. And this particular bull is out of a good affinity daughter too, and the affinities just they pop out when you drive through the pasture. You just like them all, But we bought Estrada to add some carcass merit and some outcross and some more performance, and this bull is going to get it done for anybody's program. And
that is
but he ranks.
His TSI is hitting the 300. He could be even more than that now with the updated numbers. So he is right there. So
and he's top 1% for scrotal, top 2% for yearling, and he's marbling's top 3%. There's just a lot of good things about him. Top 6% for ribeye area, he's actually got a negative 2.2 birth weight. It's actually misprinted on the actual pedigree, but in my notes it actually has a negative 2.2. So
negative 2.2. Okay.
And there's they'll show they'll show a little more birth in the Canadian EPD there and some of these pedigrees or some of these numbers, but we haven't had any trouble calving them, and actually they calve freely and on their own, and no issues. So
so they're built right on the front end there.
Yes,
smooth shouldered. Yeah. I do have to tell a little personal thing here. I have one LT Finity daughter, and she is the only cow that we have to use the side gate in my squeeze chute setup, and I have a big Powder River S25 whatever. She is so deep bodied and wide that she does not. So and her name's Cocoa Puff, and so every time Cocoa Puff comes in, we can't take her all the way in because she can't fit. So she has to go out the side gate. In fact, we were working cattle 2 weekends ago, and my daughter's like, Cocoa Puff's coming, and she is an LT Infinity daughter. So you gotta
love the affinities, and they're fertile and they last a long time. They raise great cattle, and we got a lot of people still calling to buy affinity semen. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, he obviously worked. So
yeah,
that is lot 138 LT Blaze 4354, and he is homozygous pole. So, Mitch, you got the next one. What are we? Lot 143.
Lot 143 is another Estrada. I kind of like that name.
Yeah,
it sounds a little spicy.
Yeah.
Looks like a little larger, stretchier buller. I kind of like the way this bull looks. I could see keeping quite a few heifers out of this guy, but homozygous pulled. Is he looks like an embryo transplant calf?
Yep.
And out of one of our best donor cows, 6530, and it's a Tioga daughter, and she's hit on all angles, and she's raised a lot of top females in herd bulls in our program, and you just got to love her. There's a picture of her in the catalog, and you just got to love, her profile and phenotype and her udder structure and foot structure. But the lot 143 Estrada is just another one of those bulls that's thick and big scrotal, solid footed, and that's what I like about the cattle is that they got a good foot structure, which a lot of breeds have a problem with. And he's moderate. This particular bull is moderate calving, and just gonna lay those calves on the ground, and they're just gonna grow every day, and they're all rose to the top in this group of cattle. So
he weighed 1510 on March 20th, and that an 18 ribeye area. So
you'll love the performance on this outcross sire in lot 143. He wasn't our second bull in the sire group when we first started a couple months ago, but he just keeps pouring it on, and we put him second in that sire group over a couple other ones.
So who does the sale order?
That's a good question. So I'm fortunate enough to be able to sit in the picture pin, and so it's one of some of the toughest days we got is taking pictures, and Kate Roberts does a great job, and my crew does a great job, and I get to see those bulls more than a lot of guys, I guess. But when it came right down the sale order, my brother Todd, is a big part of it, and we got a couple other guys. Jimmy Joe Henderson from Canada has been helping us part time, and he's got a good eye for cattle. And between the three of us and our herdsman Blake Connor, it just kind of clicks. Everybody kind of gives their ideas, and with our new facility, we were able to run all those bulls through 3-4 days ago, and pin by pin, we would sort them into the actual pins they're going to be in for sale day, and see how they looked as individuals or as a group. And so we spent a lot of time on the sale order, probably 4 or 5 days, just pinning bulls and kicking them back to their feedlot pins. And so I think and the last few bulls in the sale are some of the best bulls. We kind of it was hard to pick which one to start with, and then after that we kind of just spread them all the way through there to kind of keep the interest all the way till the end. So
all right, good job. Well, that is lot 143. So let's go on to lot 145. LT Crusher. It was a homopole, another son of Estrada.
We call him Crusher because he crushed the scale. He had a adjusted weaning weight of 906, and he was the highest weaning weight, had the highest weaning rate ratio of the whole group, and ranked in the top 1% for average daily gain. And he's a complete bull, and he's a powerhouse too, and goes back to a Patriot. His dam is a Patriot female that's just a rock star, and you got a picture there in the catalog too, and 6108. She's done a great job for our program. We flushed her a lot and keeps using her for our ET program. But you got to take a hard look at this Estrada group, because there's so many of them to pick from that, somebody mouse might like, a bull halfway through this group. And we picked this one just kind of on some performance and phenotype and structure. And it's got some big numbers,
Yeah. And so it looks like the mom is also the dam of LT Badge, correct? So,
that is correct. Yep.
So he is one of your past higher sellers.
Higher sellers, and also the sire to governor. So.
Okay. Yep. Goes full circle.
It is a big, one full circle here. So.
Yep. Awesome. So that's lot 145. So let's go on to lot 11. Mitch, you got to flip your flipper. Hey, you're getting faster in your flipper. Good job. So this is
warmed up.
This is another LT governor's son, and it is lot 11.
I'll just kind of combine the next two together. Lot 11 and lot 13 are both governors, and it's like I said before, they've changed a lot since we built the catalog, and it was hard to pick and choose which ones to kind of put in the top 20 here. But you just you'll like what you see. I think they're performance driven cattle, and they still got enough cavities. Like this particular bull has a 10.3 cavities direct and a negative birth weight.
Right.
But he's still top 3% for weaning and top 2% for yearling, and he's big scrotal, very correct on lot 11, and goes back to a long distance female that we just like, and
yep.
And then lot 13, kind of the same thing, just a complete fault-free governor son that's got a well-balanced profile and, moderate birth weight again with adequate growth. And his lot 13's dam is Sheila, which is the mother to LT Global. That brought 300,000 in last year's sale, and selling a lot of semen this year. Yeah. But everybody loves Sheila 337. In fact, we sold a fourth interest in her for 50,000 here 6 months ago, and but I think I could sell her for whatever price I put on her today. But she's getting up there in age, but she's just been a rock star for us too. So.
Well, and she goes back to Wyoming Wind. Look at that, on that, second generation, which is pretty cool. So
blue value on the top side of her, and Wyoming Wind on the bottom side. And the blue value of females, I don't have to tell anybody about them.
No. Yep, that is lot 11 and lot 13 highlights. So let's go on to lot 156, who's an Atlas, and he is LT Atlas 433.
Yeah, we don't have. We got quite a few Atlases. He's done a great job for the industry. We still keep using him. A lot of people are still, buying semen on him, but this was what we thought was probably one of the better Atlases, and cavities with plenty of performance. He's solid. He moves freely. He's well made and smooth shouldered. We like the Atlases, so we wanted to highlight a couple of them. So he's done a great job for us.
And if you look on this particular bull, it goes back to some M6 blood on the bottom side. So if you need a little outcross kick in there, along with the Atlas,
correct.
And he is homopolled. So.
Correct.
Well, that is lot 156. So Mitch, you want to highlight 147?
Going backwards again, just like you like to do.
Yeah. 1 step forward and 3 steps back. You're getting good on that. Oh, you just missed it.
Yep, got a little sticky on the trigger. 147, another Estrada. See how I said that better?
Sheila.
Out of our Sheila female again. Another ET calf that I just can't say enough good things about Sheila 337. And this particular bull, we didn't have him pegged in the top 3 or 4 Estradas when we did the sale catalog, but he's rose kind of to the top front half or whatever, and just another cavities with plenty of performance. You gotta like the carcass merit on these cattle and the scrotal size, and he's got a TSI 292, and he's got extra power and a great disposition, and you'll love this calf too. So
yep, that was a good one. Lot 147. So let's go on. We're gonna really flip you here, and then we're gonna go to lot 214. And I should mention all these calves so far or January, February, they're spring-born cows. I don't think we've highlighted a fall-born one yet, but
And we got a few we could talk about in the fall division too. And
yeah.
I didn't give them to you yet, but kind of got them a little bit different in the sale order. So,
but this one is a Regan dollar lot or son. I'm sorry, lot 214.
214. We must have skipped a couple here, but maybe I did. But
No.
so Reagan sold to Grand Hills. Grand Hills raised Reagan a few years back and sold to Tom Cannon and Mike Kisner, I believe. And Reagan. So, we got some nice calves in the sale here, and this one particular one's got some high performance numbers, big EPDs. He's top 1% for weaning weight, top 3% for yearling weight, top 2% for scrotal with a TSI of 297. Still cavities. It just you're gonna like them, and it goes back to some older breeding on the bottom side of the female side, or on there's Authority female.
Yes.
Authority's done a good job for the breed too, but just another solid bull with a solid EPD profile and phenotype that you'll like. So.
Yep. Yeah, and he's got 85-pound birth weight, good low actual birth weight, but with the big old 296 TSI. So got a good spread there, I guess, and some growth and a 112 weaning ratio. So
correct.
And a 110 yearling, which is great. So
you bet.
Gonna be a good balanced bull with no holes. So that was lot 214. So it's gonna go on to lot 192, which is inclination, LT inclination, and a LT Infinity son.
Like we talked earlier, Affinity's just done a good job for the breed, and we wanted to showcase a couple more of these Affinities, and pretty fault-free son of Affinity that will just it'll raise some females that you just want to keep in your herd. And this particular bull he's loaded with some extra dimension and length of body, and out of a powerful Patriot daughter. It's pretty hard to miss her when you drive through the pasture. Beautiful phenotype and a nice level of tidy udder. And I think you can just add this bull to add consistency to your calf crop, and backed by some of the greatest sires in the breed. So
yeah, he's got that profile look there. If you look him in at the picture there, he's got that whole look. Look at the rib on him. So
and he's got pretty solid set of EPDs and performance. So you'll like him.
Yep. So that's kind of the spring bull, I would say, highlights. I know you didn't pick a particular one on a fall bull, but how did you scatter the fall bulls throughout the sale order?
We kind of ran some of the top yearlings, then we went into some of these fall bulls. So lot 40 would be a fall bull. It's a governor's son. And we calve these fall calvers. That's an August baby, but August, September, and October. So we get tough winters. So it's hard to get the weaning weights where we want them. But this bull has done it all, and he's just got some, extra rib and body mass that the governor just keeps stamping on these cattle, and the impressive EPD. He's got a 311 TSI and a 1.1 ribeye and 0.3 marbling, and still cavities. He's got a negative 1.5 birth weight, 83-pound actual birth weight. So I mean, you're gonna like him, and he would probably be the top two governors in the fall division. Lot 31 would be another one.
Okay. 31 was
top 1% for weaning weight and yearling weight with big TSI numbers. He's got a weaning weight EPD of 96 and still got a negative birth weight. It goes back to us, a Rushmore female that we've kept around because she's just good uddered and fertile. She breeds back in the first cycle every year, but there's a lot of good fall calves, and we run about 250 fall calving cows, 300. We only put the top 45 of these Charolais fall bulls in this sale. We just wanted them to be very, very, very good.
Okay.
But
he looks like a beast looking at the picture of that lot 40. So that was lot 40 highlighted fall bull and lot 31.
Yep.
Yeah. There we go. Perfect. So let's kind of cover Saturday. So what time is this event happening? And that'd be What would be mountain time,
Yep,
Montana time, right?
we're on mountain time, of course, and so we'll start the Charolais at 12 noon Mountain Standard Time, and then we're hoping to be through those Charolais cattle, 3.5 hours, and then be on to the Angus division, which I guess there's another 250 Angus bulls to sell after the Charolais. So
Right.
come early. Lunch will be served at 10:30 in the morning. It will be breakfast. We'll have some burritos and rolls and a coffee trailer there at 7 o'clock in the morning, and start dinner at 10:30, 11. And like I said, we're all about hospitality, and we want people to enjoy their time. So we'll be serving food all afternoon and evening. We'll have some brisket and sirloin tips and some prime rib throughout the evening on Saturday too. And hors d'oeuvres will be start hors d'oeuvres about 1 o'clock till 4:30, and we'll be on these this brisket and sirloin tips that we're hand cutting here, and some prime ribs. So
awesome.
You won't leave hungry here. My mom did a great job of taking care of the customers on the food division for years, and now my sister-in-law and two of my sister-in-laws and my wife do a great job as far as the entertaining side goes and the food, and so it'll be a great time, great family event. So
awesome. And again, you can bid on DV auction or CCI live, and then loadout. It looks like you have some delivery, but if people want that loadout that day, they can load out and head out. It looks like so with the sale.
We'll be loading bulls throughout the sale and all day, and I guess like any other sale, we give $100 credit if you haul them that day. Otherwise, we'll start delivering bulls the following Monday or Tuesday, and try to have all these bulls out of here within 3 to 4 weeks. And you guys kind of got to be ready for them, and we just kind of got to get them out of our way so we can start AIing and doing different things with the cow herd. So
right. Yeah, it's a vicious circle. We got to do it all over again, right?
Yeah, we've actually had quite a few of the heifers, and got some embryos going in Monday already, and been setting a lot of cows up to start breeding next week. So it's been pretty busy here at the ranch.
So if you're we love talking about a little history. In your opinion, let's talk about 5 different bulls that have gone through your program that have been the most inspirational. That you're even seeing you're even seeing today. So
I'm still pretty young, so that might be a good question for Brent Thiel or Les Lindskov. But it's pretty hard to beat Pulled Unlimited. He was kind of what started our program, and my dad and Brent found him, and he kind of changed the breed. I really believe Pulled Unlimited changed the breed, and then I would say Wyoming Wind was probably next in line to really be a game changer, and worked for a lot of programs, and and then you got LT Ledger. That he don't need no introduction either, and those are 3 that I think really changed our program. And Affinity would be another one that's just been a good maternal sire for the industry. And moving forward, some of these newer younger sires like Governor, I think he's got his place, and I think he's gonna bring some performance and some added carcass that we need in these feeder cattle.
Right.
I guess that's kind of would be my top 5. And the bull that sold last year, Global, is we're moving a lot of semen on him, and I got I'm excited about the future for him too.
So, and I'm assuming you have calves on the ground now with Global.
Yes, we do, and they're spot on, and they look the part just like his the father. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we are going to AI to him. So
perfect.
Here next week. So we will try him out ourselves. But
that would be great. Yep.
And I think Mitch, you ordered some countdown semen, I think. So like both of us are giving a little whirl on some stuff. So
you won't be disappointed with either sires, and there's a lot of good in both. So
yep. Awesome. So again, the sale is this Saturday, April 19th, 12 p.m. Mountain Time at the new sale facility, which is 6 miles north of and a half mile east of Isabel on Highway 65.
Yeah. So for some of the listeners that have been to our sale in the past, we'll be another 1.5 miles north of the old facility and a half mile east of the Highway 65. So you can't get lost. You'll see it sits on a big hill. If the wind's blowing, it gets a little breezy up there until we get some new trees planted. So
yeah, You didn't bring in some instant trees real quick just to post up.
Yeah. Well, we tried, but like I said, we're still pounding nails and got the welders running, so we didn't quite get her all finished yet. But we didn't break ground until July 27th, and the building started on August 5th last year. So a lot has happened in a short period of time, and it wasn't probably the easiest project I've ever done, but it's going to be usable. So,
what is the square footage of the building total?
It's I would say the building is I got to think for a minute, probably close to 20,000 square foot.
Wow.
And that's including the commons area, which is where the meal will be served. And you actually got to go through a set of doors to get into the sale ring. There's 300 stadium chairs in the sale ring. And then there's about another 100 stools upstairs in the kind of a loft area. We still run the bulls all through live. So behind the sale ring, we got a working facility that we can line about 7 or 8 of them up in individual stalls to bring them in, and takes a pretty good crew, but I think we'll get through it. There's 92 sale day pins outside. Everyone's got feed and water in them. We'll pin those bulls up either Thursday evening or Friday morning.
Okay.
So they won't. In the past, we haven't been able to pin them up till the morning of the sale. So this is going to be handy for all of us to get them pinned up at least the day before. So, and easier for the customers to view them. So,
well, that'd be great. I'm looking forward to it. So
I see you got your room at the bunkhouse in Isabel. So I've been kind of nosing around town, small town of Isabel, 150 people. I kind of made sure we got all the VRBOs and the local motels rented in. So I talked to the lady there today, and I seen your name on the list. So I'm glad you're coming and partaking in the Friday evening festivities. So
we will be there. It was kind of it was cute. I obviously I'd never been to that part of South Dakota, so I called the gal, and she must have been getting her hair done, and then she called me back and she goes, "Hey honey, I just want to make sure I get the room for you." Just a sweet old lady. She goes, "You coming for the bull sale?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna." She goes, "Okay, I'll make sure you got a room." And talk about accommodating. So
so
I think we she's a sweetheart. So I think
she's a great lady.
Yeah,
she's a great lady, and like I said, it's only 6 miles from the motel to the ranch. So
perfect. Well, I do have to ask this question, because if I don't, my wife will kill me. So if I'm coming to Isabel, or she's coming to Isabel, South Dakota, which is, what should she be planning on for clothes? Is it, it says 65 degrees, but light jacket, type of scenario outside.
I would definitely bring a few extra clothes, because our mornings will be cool. Yeah, we'll be probably in the 30s that morning right away. Definitely a light jacket and maybe a sweatshirt for the morning. But it looks like Friday's going to be a little cool too, like 58, 60 for a high. But of course, we're heated and cooled in the new facility. But if you're out looking at bulls, I definitely want to have a light jacket and maybe a hoodie on. So.
Well, I mean, I might need that light jacket for when I'm bellied up to the ice cream bar.
So speaking of ice cream bar, what is your favorite ice cream topping?
Jack Daniels or Jim Beam.
Hey, I got that at the other bar. We'll take care of you there.
or Pendleton. I'm not real picky. Just don't bring tequila out. And then
well, we got some of that too, but I'm going to stay away from that bottle till at least Sunday.
Yeah, so. I think we might even bring some Washington grown wine here, which we are in big wine country, so we might bring a couple bottles for you to try out. So
that would be awesome. I'll have to take a look, because we go through a lot of wine at our hunting lodges. So.
Yeah. Well, they do make some good wines out here. But I don't think we've missed anything, did we, Bryce?
I'd like to kind of hit on one thing that Chad Berger statement actually hit home to me, and I really appreciate Chad and what he's done for the PBR world, and he's got a great family, and he knows good cattle too. But when he mentioned what we do in the sale barns, what sets us apart is our customer service. And I don't care if it's on the register side or the commercial side. If there's a problem with a bull, I want to know right away, and I'll take care of them. I'll make sure I make it right with you. But on our commercial cow calf guys, we promote the Charolais Cross feeder cattle better than anybody in the nation. And we go to sale barns every day, or we buy cattle in the country, or on Superior or Northern or whatever online auction might be. But our claim to fame is, we might not always be first, but we'll be a strong second. And I'd say in the last 12 months, our family has either fed, marketed, or placed over 50,000 head of customer calves.
Wow. Well, that's a lot.
It's a big deal. And that's why we got a good following. We got some really good loyal customers. We got some of the best commercial cow calf guys in the nation doing business with us. And we got, of course, some really good registered operations that have supported us. And, but it's just one of those things that comes down to customer service, whether you're selling birds, equipment, or cattle. And we just want to take care of the customer, because without our customers, there's nothing here. And I can't say enough good thing about the people we do business with. And we just want to be there to support them in the end. And I've been on this beef marketing committee with the Charolais Association, and it's been a slow process, but I really think that we're going to get there with some sort of a program that really promotes these Charolais cross feeder cattle. And the industry needs us. And this year showed it more in the sale barn than ever before. We actually outsold a lot of the good black cattle. Yes. And I've had more feedlots and farmer feeders call and say, hey, I want those good smokies or buckskins. And that's what they're after. And with the shortage of beef in the country and the cow herd numbers shrinking, we got to raise carcasses that perform on the rail with less yield grades 4s and 5s. We got to make sure that we got a good product, and the consumer will be there to buy it. So
that's
I
very
think the
well
future is
said.
great. The future is great for the Charolais industry. So
that's very, very well said. And I think customer service, no matter what you're doing, is vitally important. I mean, I see it in, and you maybe not in your area, but in our area, the mom and pa hardware stores got driven out by the big box chain stores. But you know what? That little claim's going away, and we're starting to see a little mom and pa hardware store open back up. So it's it goes back to customer service.
100%.
A lot of times, when you walk in there and you have a question, you want to answer. Not every time you can just Google it. So,
and sometimes we want to talk to the owners, and we're a diversified family, and we got the equipment stores and hunting lodges and cattle operations, farms, but you know what? Our customers got our cell numbers. They can call us any time of day, weekends and evenings. If they're broke down, we're going to take care of them. They need an extra bull, we're going to be there the same day. We want the customer to call us, and it's not always easy to get all those calls made back, but we make sure. My dad always taught me, if you don't return your calls within 24 hours, you're not a good businessman. So I've lived by that motto, and I make 100%. Sure I try to get everybody called back. So
that is vitally important. That is one thing I teach my sales guys, and I'm in the fertilizer world, and I got a sales team. I'm like, you get back to them. Do not ever miss a phone call or miss a text. So you reply.
You never know who it's going to be. So.
Yep, exactly. All right. Well, I think that kind of wraps it up, Mitch. There we go. And what annual sale is this? How many times have you done this? 44.
44th annual. Yep. My dad started in 1981. So.
Well, this is this just kind of goes par. This was our 94th episode. So,
awesome.
and
that's good.
Celebrating your 44th sale. So,
well, I sure appreciate you guys taking the time to get us on here and help promote our sale and kind of tell our story. So looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
Yep. Well, I'll be coming in hot. Let me tell you what. So Friday night might get a little bit nutty. So you might want to make sure. You might want to warn the locals,
Yeah, well, whatever happens in Isabel stays in Isabel.
So. There you go. You have no idea, my friend. Mitch can tell you stories.
I've seen you guys in action before.
Yeah, oh, good. Yep. Well, we'll see you this weekend. Everybody have a good time, and Mitch, good luck on your surgery next week. We'll be thinking about you, my friend. So, with that, have a good one.
Thanks again, guys.
Them up, and some raise the roof, and some give their lives protecting me and you.